John. Good evening and a warm welcome. Whether you are a constituent of Strathmore-Brooks, a friend, family, or my honourable opponent, Jason, I wish to thank you for being here and supporting a cause I believe to be both essentially and gravely important. I was first approached to run for the Wildrose 1 year ago. I started to look into the party, its platforms, policy, and most importantly, the people involved. I attended the Wildrose AGM in Red Deer last June. I was very impressed by the people in attendance, the debate, and the resolutions. I have personally known Danielle Smith for many years and have a great deal of respect for her and her leadership abilities. I came away from that meeting committed to run for the Wildrose nomination in Strathmore-Brooks. The real reason, plain and simple, that I am running for the Wildrose Alliance nomination in Strathmore-Brooks is because I believe that after a lifetime of committee, business, charitable, and community involvement, I have what it takes to not only be nominated as your candidate, but uniquely have the qualifications to make this a winnable riding for Wildrose Alliance. I have the experience, leadership, and drive to not only be a member of Wildrose Alliance, but to be part of the tide of change that's about to roll through Alberta. In hindsight, I have spent a lifetime preparing myself for this role. The cumulative years of service and experience gained running committees and volunteering, 25 years for the Progressive Conservative Party, Alberta Beef Producers, Step 1 Housing, and 4-H makes me not only the strongest candidate in this community, but also a most valuable addition to the Wildrose Party as a whole. On a more personal level, I would like to share with you a little of my experience and what has led me to this most distinct pleasure and opportunity to speak in front of you today. I, possibly like you, am one of the many supporters and organizers who has fled to Wildrose as my confidence in Ed Stelmach's government has all but dissolved. In every aspect of my world, I've experienced people like you who also felt their trust and belief has all but collapsed. The defining moment for me came February 12, 2008, when, after arranging to bring Premier Stelmach to Strathmore to announce that we were in fact getting our extended care facility, I stood beside him as he stated, "The money is in place, the shovels will be in the ground shortly, and I am a man of my word." With those statements from the Premier of this province, I believed him. This past week, a friend of mine was calving and was being chased by an overprotective cow. He jumped for the fence, grabbed for the top rail, only to have it break loose in his hands. Down he went to get worked over by the cow. He is rather beat up and hurting. I think we all felt beat up when we learned that not only was there no support for our long-term care facility, but even more so to realize how little our efforts meant to the Stelmach government. The real frustration is most people are feeling helpless in how to make change. Another huge issue to all Albertans is Bill 36, the Land Stewardship Bill. The bill creates the authority for development of regional plans for each of 7 areas of the province identified in the government's new land use framework. Among other things, it gives the government new conservation and stewardship tools to protect heritage landscapes, but also allows the provincial cabinet the power to unilaterally extinguish water licenses, timber harvesting permits, development rights, and oil and gas leases on private property without recourse to the courts. Last week, Premier Stelmach rolled out proposed regulations to halt oil sands production on 2 million hectares, including land that had already been leased to 24 different oil and mining companies. These companies had followed the rules, held the necessary hearings, complied with all the regulations, paid their fees, and were approved. That is a contract. Now our current government wants to just rip up those contracts. The present government claims that Bill 36 is a good bill and it is just a few politically motivated people trying to make the government look bad. I assume that I am one of those people because over 3 years ago, I told Premier Stelmach that I was not in favor of the land use framework because it was all top-down and took away property rights. As part of a Wildrose Alliance government, I will work to repeal Bill 19, the Land Assembly Project Act, Area Act, Bill 24, Carbon Capture and Storage Statutes Amendment Act, Bill 36, the Alberta Land Stewardship Act, and Bill 50, the Electric Statutes Amendment Act. All of these bills erode your property rights and are unnecessary. If you have any doubt about these bills, you might want to check them out for yourself. The PC's record in failing to balance the budget is entirely unacceptable. It's time to bring efficiency to spending, efficiency and forward planning to healthcare, transportation, and the list goes on. My strength in the RCMP taught me to be a guardian and a watchdog, and I can tell you this province and our constituency in particular needs protection. The problem of leak like water unrestrained into education, the beef industry, justice, the oil and gas regime, among others. In fact, we don't just have a leaky pipe here. What we need is an investigator capable of seeking out the root cause of problems and tackling the problems and finding solutions. In nominating me as your candidate for the Wildrose Alliance Party of Alberta, a party which I believe to be a conservative provincial political party, I offer an electable and viable approach to defeating the Conservatives in this constituency. I have the strength, background, and recognition to gain a seat for this party. The party platform I run on is consistent with Danielle Smith and agrees with every core value I have. The power of free enterprise to drive the economy and a high-performance, smaller, and more efficient government that's capable of delivering social services cost-effectively and with maximum value. A smaller, more efficient government with service delivery at the municipal and community level as much as possible, reducing government bureaucracy and unnecessary programs, and reducing government spending per capita comparable to other Canadian cities. I believe in democratic reform and the establishment of setting election dates every 4 years, allowing for citizen initiatives via referendums, and enacting the right to recall elected officials. Whether you are a friend, a longtime business, or community-based partner, I am asking for your support today in helping me win the nomination for the Wildrose Alliance Party in Strathmore-Brooks. I'm prepared to give this fight every ounce of energy I can muster. To effectively gain your nomination, I need you to carry my message forward, and I need your thoughts and ideas on how to strengthen this community I have lived, worked, and raised my family in, and I'm asking for your trust on May 7th. Please help me represent you. Vote for John Bland on May 7th. Thank you.